Hello everyone, and welcome back to Tavern Talk, where we have just welcomed in a vampire and a dwarf into our inn to stay overnight, and we are going to start with Act 1, Chapter 3, New Friends and Former Enemies, 59th of the week. Good morning, Mr. Rooster. My shipment of infusions finally arrived this morning. I now have access to some fey crystals and frozen pine cones. Together with Fable's Phoenix chilies, I have 3 infusions now. I'll unpack them later when I have some time. I have a feeling they'll be of use soon. Ooh, we got new stuff. Alright, and it's a brand new day, and we just did an achievement. Diplomacy is key. I don't know what we got from that, but we'll find out later. All right. So, innkeep. A drink for me and this lanky pal. It's good to see you too, Lynn. She meant to say please. Oh my gosh, I just realized that Fable is still alive. So glad to see them. And I guess we're going to find out how their mission went. Welcome back, Fable. You look alive. Literally what I was just saying. Thank you. I am. That seems like a given. I'm just happy to see them doing well. And with a friend. We ain't friends. We're not? Oh, Fable. So you two didn't form a party? No. Oh. Then what's the drink about? They may be very annoying, but they did just help me solve a family feud of 10 years. So I do owe them some of your dishwater at the very least. Family feud? I wouldn't call it a feud, more of a miscommunication. No, it was a feud. I feel like feud implies a certain level of hostility. I was gonna kill him. I thought that was a joke. Oh my gosh. It wasn't. Oh. I wonder what happened at this event. But no one died? No. Elfie here was able to prevent that. It's Fable. Whatever. Oh my gosh. Does this perchance have something to do with your quest? It does. I stopped her from killing the werewolf. Oh, I wondered if that might have been connected. Elaborate, please. I was going to kill the werewolf. They stopped me from killing the werewolf. What's not to get? A lot. I think she's confused because the quest was to save the villagers from the werewolf. And now it sounds like I saved the werewolf from you. Which I did. Kind of. What on earth happened on this quest? I also remember you saying you didn't want the quest, Lynn. I didn't. Was there by chance? They were both stealing sheep. Was not. Sure was. Adventuring don't pay what it used to. So you steal other people's sheep? Mind your own business. How did any of this lead to a successful quest? Well, where do I start? How about at the beginning? Right. I was born on a half-crescent dreaming moon. Of the quest, Fable. Right. The quest. Traveling, there was no trouble. I know enough shortcuts to travel through the Ashen Grove swiftly. I reached the borders of Caerlin right around dusk. The Ashen Grove thins out around there, and you can catch a glimpse of the wide fields and vineyards, as well as see one farm after the other. An idyllic sight. Well, at least before sunset. Do you have trouble in the dark? Emotionally? Oh my gosh, Fable is honestly too relatable. Visually. A little. I mean, I reckon I can still see more than a human could, but darkness is darkness and I am no owl. Thank gods. You're already weird enough. Oh my gosh. Imagine the damage you'd do if you could turn your head all the way around. Who says I can't? This is an interesting pairing. Just kidding. Anyway, luckily darkness doesn't affect my hearing. Not the normal kind. What? Nothing. Okay, I heard a creaking fence and footsteps that were failing at keeping quiet. Your ears are failing at being small. So I snuck closer and I saw a werewolf-esque shape picking up a tiny sheep. I was petting it. Well, I thought she was going to eat it, so I summoned up all my courage and I stepped out of the shadows and I said, "Good evening, werewolf. Please put down the sheep." I didn't expect them to be entirely in their right mind, of course, but I wanted to be polite. And I thought it might confuse her, and maybe that would help calm her down. It confused me, all right. Who the heck sees a werewolf and the first thing they do is greet them? Oh my gosh, it's because we gave them that potion. I think we gave them oh, that's probably what the achievement was for. The diplomacy is key. We gave them the ability to speak to the werewolf was stronger than the ability to kill it. Anyway, a polite person. Or an insane one. It worked, didn't it? Because I ain't no werewolf. He wasn't that different. But I'm skipping ahead. To my surprise, instead of a growl, the werewolf, or not werewolf, responded with a, "What?" So the confusion plan had worked, but I hadn't really expected that response. So I said again, "Please put down the sheep." And she asked, "Why?" And I said, "Well, because stealing sheep isn't very nice." And she asked who I was. No, I asked, "Who are you? A guard?" I was about to introduce myself when we heard this blood-curdling howl. It sounded like someone had ripped a hole into the fabric of reality and then pierced it with a horrid yell. Please, it was barely a bark. And it made the blood freeze in my veins. I heard panting and heavy footsteps, and I barely dared to turn around. You turn around immediately. And when I did, I stared into the twisted face of a werewolf, yellow gleaming eyes, gleaming with jaundice. Sharp teeth, giant claws. He looked like he wanted to eat me right up. He did. But before I could beg for mercy, suddenly something rushed past me and lunged at the werewolf. When I regained my composure, Caerlin and the werewolf were on the ground fighting tooth and nail. And the sheep you were holding? Obviously, I set it down at that point. Good. I'm glad the sheep survived. So, you went to Fable's aid? No, that ain't it. I noticed the wolf's flannel rags. They were blue, uncheckered, had an uneven print. Just like the kind of stuff Uncle Dragon likes to wear. That old... Oh my gosh. Hey, why can't I say that? What the... Youth protection. The age rating system is quite harsh. Anyway, it was dressed like Uncle Dragon, smelled like Uncle Dragon, fought like him too. I was joking when I brought it up before, you know. Haven't seen that old man in years. Was coping about it by joking. That's the only way I can talk about him these days. Because of the feud? Yes. He used to be my favorite uncle, but then he changed. Became irritable and angry, distant, fought a lot with Uncle Fedor. Cared more about the moon than he did his own family. Eventually, he just left, ran away without a word, left us and Uncle Fedor behind, worried, senseless. Until we found a letter saying not to look for him and all their savings missing. Swore I was going to kill him if I ever saw him again. Always thought he just couldn't face up to his problems. Turns out his solution was just to get those problems as far away from everyone else as possible. Idiot. Did you talk it out with your fists? I tried, but Elfie stopped me. Elfie. I'm glad they did. How did you figure that out? Well, she was yelling at him. I didn't understand half of it, but I could tell she was angry and hurt. I tried to get their attention by telling them to stop, but they wouldn't listen, so I shot an arrow right next to both of their heads. My aim was a little shaky, so I did end up grazing Mr. Dragon's ear. But it got them to stop for long enough to start listening to me. I threatened them that if they didn't stop to talk, I would shoot them both. I would have never done that, of course. I am so proud of Fable. So proud. But they must have believed me because they actually stopped to listen. Looked mighty scary there, little pal. Thank you. I sat them down and did my best to be an insurmountable object between them. If they wanted to fight, they would have to go through me. That sounds rather dangerous. 'Twas. Wouldn't have stopped for them. What? You're the size of a stick. You think you could stop 2 angry wolves? Oh, well, anyway. I used the opportunity to figure out what was going on. And that's how I found out about Mr. Dragon and Caerlin and the miscommunication. Feud. The feud, sure. Turns out that after Mr. Dragon was turned, he was too ashamed to admit it. But he couldn't stop the changes and ended up hurting all the people he cared about. That's no excuse, of course. No, it ain't. If we'd known, we'd have helped him as best we could. At the very least, would have built a sturdy shed with scratch-proof walls for full moons. He didn't think that would have happened, though. So he decided to fix the problem by leaving, deal with it alone, and so on. But that only made it worse. Of course, he was too embarrassed to come back, so he just focused on the whole werewolf thing and not any human things, or Vukakin things, so to speak. Trying to find a cure, trying to avoid the moon, trying to find a place to sleep, stealing sheep. That's something they have in common. The sheep? No, the stubbornness and the unwillingness to ask for help. But the sheep too. But they had to talk about it. That silent resentment wasn't good for either of them. And you got them to do that? The little stick is oddly persuasive. Had us talking about it before I even realized I didn't want to. Maybe because you did want to. Maybe. How did it go? Fine. We'll take some time to accept his apology. We'll have to see him change first, and apologize to Uncle Feder and the rest. But it was good to see him again. I guess a hug did feel better than a greatsword in his gut. Wonderful. Of course, there's still the problem with the whole werewolf thing. Idiot got so obsessed with the cure he still can barely control himself. We helped him realize that even a cure couldn't change what he'd done. That he has to accept he's different now and learn how to live again. Of course, it won't be easy. No change ever is. I learned that from you. But we have a group of werewolves living near our settlement. A small community that enjoys the company of our warm trees. We play charades with them a lot, and they taught me about the phases of the 7 moons and the secrets of the moon signs. That sounds like a bunch of... It's real, you're a crescent moose. Uh-huh. We introduced Mr. Dragon to them, and they promised they would take him in and help him deal with his lycanthropy. That sounds great. It is. It's a happy ending. I wouldn't call it an ending, rather the beginning of something new. So the end of one adventure is just the beginning of another one? Exactly. I like that. I feel like Lynn is very over this. So after your heroic therapy session, you two decided to grab a drink together? Got offered to spend the day at the settlement. But they don't serve anything strong enough for my tastes. Plus, Elfie was dying to get back here. Elfie was talking about how they need to update you on everything nonstop. Would think they live here or something. I had to report back about the quest. I'm glad you did. I'm glad Elfie's alive, after all. I also wonder what would happen had we chosen... I think we could have chosen a drink that had strength in it, but I didn't really feel like that felt with... or that matched with what Fable would have done. So I kept with their character. They also started crafting something with the werewolves. Said something about it being for you, Innkeep. Oh, really? Are we gonna get presents from our tavern attenders? Yeah. It's not finished yet, but I'll let you know, I promise. That wasn't that hard, was it? Well. So, a drink. What can I offer you, Lynn? Surprise me with something that fits my brawn. By which, I mean make me the usual. Strength never gets old. Okay. It's been a minute since I played, but I think... So, they said we got more, like, infusions? How do we... I don't remember how to use those. Anyway, let me check my drink guide. Ooh, looks like we have... What's that? Ooh, okay, so we have... This is like our quest board. Werewolf on Detours. Okay, so that one's done. We have the Until Sunrise one, which is with the Wyvern Chimera. And this was with the Vampire... Let's see. Oh, it's so he can get sunscreen. So he can walk in broad daylight. And then... Oh, yeah, his ex-wife. And he wants his cloak. Okay, or his cape of invisibility. I think I'd want that too. What else do we have in here? We have our recipes. We have our ingredients. Okay, so we don't really have any infusions yet, but we do... Wait, okay, we have to explore the map for a second here. Okay, so... So, in the Northern Republic... Oh my gosh! I didn't realize it shows us where our quests are. Okay, so that's where the Wyvern Chimera is. And then that's where the werewolf was. And then this one, okay, that's where Fable lives. And then Caerlin, so Caerlin is where we are. So we are in the Northern Republic. And then what's down in the Moon Swamp? Is that where Evelyn is? Hey there, Evelyn. Yep. Okay, so we're starting to build our little map. There's a lot going on. The Amber Isles. Ooh. Okay, I'm excited. Let's check. So we don't have that yet. Okay. But we do have our ingredients. How do I just turn the page? There we go. So, strength. So let's find our drink with strength in it. I think it was Spoken Heart, right? No. That's charisma. Southern Brawler. Offense and defense? Strength is the sword, so... Yeah, that one. Okay, draw recipe. How do I... Pin recipe. There we go. So we need strength. I think we... Oop. Bear with me. It's been a minute. We need 3 strength. Okay. And then we need a little bit of... Is that... I gotta learn these things. I think this is charisma. And then we also need just a hint of defense there. Just a little sprinkle on top. Okay, Southern Brawler. And then let's pet Andu, because we didn't do that last time. Let's give him a little pet. And then, oh, he said, I forgot the rainbow eyes. All right, and let's finish the drink. Coming up. Just for you, Lynn. Surprise! Uh-oh, did we make the wrong thing? Oh, okay. Not bad. You should do this professionally. I'll think about it. Fable, what about you? Do you have something that'll calm me down? Maybe even bring me some of my agility back? Like a swift strike back to my senses? I've had a stressful day. Night. Morning. Sequence of events. Alright, so we need a swift strike for Fable. And that is this one. I'm excited to unlock some more drinks. Okay, Swift Strike, pin the recipe. So we need... So is that agility? I've got to figure out what these things are. Stats. Okay, so sword is strength, crown is charisma, dexterity is the wing, intelligence is the brain, and defense is the shield. So charisma and dexterity. I keep forgetting those two. So this one has a lot of dexterity in it. I think it has 3 dexterity. 1, 2, 3. And then we need a hint of intelligence. And a hint of defense. I think that's correct. Oh, I like the colors. Okay, yeah, Swift Strike. And then let's pet Andu. He gets lots of pets today. Because we were slacking last time. And then we'll finish our drink. Thanks, Andu, for your help. And here you go, Fable. Here you go. Thank you. Wow, this is perfect. I really like the animation on the drinks, especially the Swift Strike with the little leaves. You look tired. Have you considered sleep? They do look like they're gonna pass out any second. So do you. Oh, so do you. Maybe sleep is a good idea. Caerlin, do you have a place to sleep? Are we gonna have like a little romance between these two? I can sleep anywhere. It's a talent. It's depressing. I have a room available. You can stay there. Sounds good. How much? I'll count it as payment for your help with the quest. Oh, look at her blushing. That's so nice. I feel like she's usually so mad. Fine. Later, Elfie. See you later. Oh. Are you heading home, Fable? Yes. I've been gone for a whole day. I need to get back and make sure everything is still growing correctly. Maybe take a nap first. Yeah, that too. Did you enjoy your first quest? I did. It was scary and different from what I expected. And I didn't know I was so good at pretending to be charming. I think let's say, have you considered that you weren't pretending? Because I feel like they need that confidence boost. You did well, Fable. Thank you. I hope that wasn't my only adventure. I think this is just the beginning. That would be nice. Do you think I'm going to save the world one day? That's a very tall order. Ha, you're right. I'm not cut out for that. I didn't say that. I would just prefer it if the world didn't end. Right. But if it does, you're the first person I'd ask for help. Maybe you should ask Caerlin first, but I'd be happy to be second. We'll see. Let's hope we won't. I like this world, and you have a point. We shouldn't hope for such a calamity. Uh-oh. Even if it would make for a good song. Or a sad one. Or both. I'm gonna head home now. Do that. I'll stock up on quests for you. I can't wait! See you soon. See you soon. I am so happy for Fable. I think that I really hope their confidence continues to grow, and I hope that we can help them. And here is our person that keeps showing up at night and ordering the same drink over and over and over. But I think, friends, that that's where we're going to leave it for today. And next time, maybe we'll get to learn who this stranger is and what their name is, because I have a lot of questions. So thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Goodbye!